The year was 1898. It was a time of great change and upheaval, both in the United States and around the world. The dawn of a new century was just around the corner, and with it came new ambitions and conflicts. The world watched as tensions between the United States and Spain escalated, diplomatic relations were strained, and the air was thick with the possibility of war. Both nations were on edge, each waiting for the other to make a move. The once mighty Spanish Empire was crumbling, its influence and territories were dwindling, and it struggled to maintain control over its colonies. The empire that had once spanned continents was now a shadow of its former self. Meanwhile, the US was emerging as a global power. The Industrial Revolution had transformed the nation, and its economic and military might were growing rapidly. America was eager to assert itself on the world stage. Cuba, a Spanish colony just 90 miles off the coast of Florida, was in open rebellion. The Cuban people were fighting for their independence, and their struggle was capturing the attention of the world. Americans sympathized with the Cuban people's fight for independence. Stories of their bravery and suffering filled the newspapers, and many in the US felt a kinship with the Cuban cause. Newspapers, fueled by sensationalism, reported on Spanish atrocities. The press played a significant role in shaping public opinion, often exaggerating or fabricating stories to sell more papers. These stories further inflamed American public opinion. The public was outraged, and the clamor for intervention grew louder with each passing day. The stage was set for a conflict that would redraw the map of global power. The United States and Spain were on a collision course, and the world watched with bated breath. The sinking of the U.S. battleship Maine in Havana Harbor on February 15, 1898, proved to be the tipping point. The explosion killed 266 American sailors and shocked the nation. While the exact cause of the explosion remains a mystery to this day, the American public blamed Spain. The cry for retribution was immediate and intense. "Remember the Maine, to hell with Spain" became a rallying cry. The slogan echoed through the streets, in newspapers, and in political speeches, galvanizing the American public. On April 25, 1898, the United States declared war on Spain. The declaration marked the beginning of a new chapter in American history. The Spanish-American War had begun. It was a conflict that would last only a few months, but would have lasting repercussions for both nations and the world. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Theodore Roosevelt, then Assistant Secretary of the Navy, was a man of action. He was not content to sit behind a desk while the world moved around him. Roosevelt was driven by a deep sense of duty and a desire to make a tangible impact. His restless spirit and unyielding determination were evident in every aspect of his life. He believed in the righteousness of the American cause. To him, the United States was a beacon of hope and democracy, a nation destined to lead and inspire. Roosevelt's patriotism was not just a sentiment, it was a call to action, a belief that America had a moral obligation to stand up for what was right. He also saw the war as an opportunity to test himself on the field of battle. For Roosevelt, war was the ultimate proving ground, a place where one's character and resolve were put to the test. He yearned to experience the rigors of combat, to face danger head-on, and to emerge stronger and more resilient. Roosevelt resigned his post in Washington, D.C. He could no longer be content with a bureaucratic role when there was a greater calling. His decision was not made lightly. It was a reflection of his unwavering commitment to his principles and his desire to lead by example. He set about forming a volunteer cavalry regiment. This was no ordinary regiment. It was to be a unit composed of men who shared his vision and his fervor. Roosevelt sought individuals who were as passionate and driven as he was, men who were willing to risk everything for a cause they believed in. This regiment would become known as the Roughriders. They were a unique and eclectic group, bound together by a common purpose and a shared sense of adventure. The Roughriders were more than just soldiers. They were a symbol of American courage and determination. Roosevelt was an unlikely military leader. Despite his aristocratic background and intellectual pursuits, he possessed a rugged determination and a fierce will to succeed. His leadership style was unconventional, but it was precisely what the Roughriders needed. He was an asthmatic, bespectacled intellectual, yet his physical limitations did not deter him. Instead, they fueled his resolve to overcome adversity. Roosevelt's life was a testament to the power of perseverance and the belief that one could rise above their circumstances. But he possessed an undeniable charisma and a boundless energy. His enthusiasm was infectious, and his ability to inspire those around him was unparalleled. Roosevelt's presence alone could galvanize his men, instilling in them a sense of purpose and a drive to excel. He attracted a diverse group of volunteers. These men came from all corners of the country, drawn by Roosevelt's vision and the promise of adventure. They were united by a common goal and a shared belief in the American dream. They came from all walks of life, eager to prove their mettle in the crucible of war. From the bustling cities to the quiet countryside, these volunteers represented the very fabric of American society. They were ready to face the challenges ahead, driven by a sense of duty and a desire to make a difference. Roosevelt's Roughriders were a microcosm of America itself. They embodied the diversity and resilience of the nation, a testament to the strength that comes from unity. Each member brought their unique skills and experiences, creating a formidable force that was greater than the sum of its parts. They were cowboys, miners, and Native Americans. These men, often from rugged and challenging backgrounds, brought a toughness and resourcefulness that was invaluable. Their varied experiences and perspectives enriched the regiment, making it a truly unique fighting force. They were also Ivy League athletes, policemen, and even a few seasoned frontiersmen. This eclectic mix of backgrounds and professions created a dynamic and versatile unit. Each member contributed their strengths, whether it was physical prowess, tactical knowledge, or sheer determination. They embodied the spirit of adventure and the belief in American exceptionalism that defined the era. The Roughriders were more than just a military unit, they were a symbol of the American spirit, a testament to the nation's enduring values and its relentless pursuit of greatness. The Roughriders were a unique blend of backgrounds and skills. They were united by their patriotism and their desire to serve their country. From the rugged plains of the American West came cowboys skilled in horsemanship and marksmanship. They were joined by Ivy League athletes who brought their own brand of discipline and teamwork to the ranks. There were Native American scouts who possessed an intimate knowledge of the land. The regiment was a melting pot of American manhood. There were miners, blacksmiths, and shopkeepers. They were all eager to prove their mettle in the face of danger. This unlikely band of brothers would be forged into a formidable fighting force. Their shared experiences in the heat of battle would create bonds that would last a lifetime. The Roughriders arrived in Cuba ill-prepared for the challenges that awaited them. The tropical heat and humidity were oppressive. Disease, particularly malaria and yellow fever, spread through the ranks. To make matters worse, there were not enough horses for all the cavalrymen. Many of the Roughriders found themselves fighting on foot alongside the infantry. Despite these hardships, the Roughriders persevered. They endured the sweltering heat and fought off bouts of illness. They adapted to fighting on foot, using their marksmanship skills to deadly effect. Their determination and resilience in the face of adversity would become a hallmark of the Roughrider legend. Section 5 of Alligators and Parrots, Tall Tales and True Grit in the Cuban Heat. Life in the Cuban camps was a mix of hardship and humor. Stories spread of Roughriders wrestling alligators for sport, though these tales were likely exaggerated. One soldier even adopted a parrot as a mascot. The parrot would squawk, "Ahoy, men!" to the amusement of the troops. These light-hearted moments provided a much-needed respite from the dangers and drudgery of war. They also revealed the spirit and camaraderie that bound the Roughriders together. In the face of adversity, they found ways to laugh and boost each other's morale. Section 6, Storming Kettle Hill, a gallant charge and a pivotal victory. On July 1, 1898, the Roughriders played a key role in the Battle of San Juan Hill. Before they could assault the strategically important San Juan Heights, they first had to take Kettle Hill. The Spanish were entrenched on the hilltop. Their machine guns poured down a deadly fire. Undeterred, the Roughriders, alongside other American units, charged up the hill. They faced a hail of bullets. Roosevelt, with his customary boldness, led the charge on horseback. He urged his men forward with shouts of encouragement. The Roughriders fought with incredible bravery. Their victory on Kettle Hill paved the way for the main assault on San Juan Hill. Section 7. The Battle of San Juan Hill, a grueling climb to victory. With Kettle Hill secured, the Roughriders and other American units turned their attention to the main objective, San Juan Hill. The Spanish were heavily fortified on the heights. The American advance was slowed by the difficult terrain and the intense enemy fire. Despite these challenges, the Americans continued their advance. The Roughriders, fighting alongside African-American units like the 9th and 10th Cavalry, displayed incredible courage and tenacity. They engaged in fierce hand-to-hand combat. Finally, after a grueling battle, the Americans captured San Juan Hill. The victory was a decisive one, crippling the Spanish defenses around Santiago de Cuba. Section 8, From Battlefield to Ballot Box, the Roughriders and Roosevelt's Rise to Power. The Roughriders returned to America as heroes. Their exploits in Cuba captured the public's imagination. Roosevelt in particular became a national celebrity. His daring leadership during the war made him a household name. He was seen as a symbol of American courage and determination. Roosevelt capitalized on his newfound fame. He was elected governor of New York in 1898. In 1900, he was elected vice president under President William McKinley. When McKinley was assassinated in 1901, Roosevelt ascended to the presidency. The Rough Rider had ridden all the way to the White House. Section 9, Enduring Legacy, Fact, Fiction, and the Spirit of the Rough Riders. The legend of the Rough Riders has endured for over a century. These brave men, who volunteered to fight in the Spanish-American War, have become an iconic symbol of American courage and determination. Their story is not just a tale of war, but a testament to the human spirit and the power of unity. Their story has been told and retold in books, films, and popular culture. From classic Hollywood movies to detailed historical accounts, the Rough Riders have captured the imagination of generations. Each retelling adds a new layer to their legend, blending fact with fiction to create a narrative that is both inspiring and larger than life. While some of the tales may be exaggerated, the core of the Rough Rider story is one of courage, patriotism, and the triumph of the human spirit. These men faced incredible odds, and yet through sheer determination and bravery, they managed to leave an indelible mark on history. The Rough Riders were a unique product of their time. They were a melting pot of American society, bringing together cowboys, scholars, Native Americans, and even athletes. This diverse group of men, led by the charismatic Theodore Roosevelt, showcased the best of what America had to offer. They were a diverse group of men from all walks of life, united by their love of country and their willingness to fight for what they believed in. Their unity and camaraderie were their greatest strengths, allowing them to overcome the many challenges they faced during the war. Their story reminds us that even ordinary people are capable of extraordinary acts of bravery and selflessness. The Rough Riders' legacy is a powerful reminder that heroism is not confined to the battlefield. It can be found in everyday acts of courage and kindness.
The Rough Riders serve as an enduring symbol of the American spirit, a spirit that continues to inspire us today. Their legacy lives on in the countless stories of bravery and sacrifice that define our nation's history, reminding us of the power of unity, courage, and the enduring human spirit.